First base, second base, shortstop, third base, left field. Raise your hand.
We're here today at the Iowa Baseball Camp for the Deaf. We're here all week. We have the camp every morning for children who are deaf and hard of hearing, age 7 to 14, from all over the Midwest. It's an opportunity for them to not only play baseball, but socialize. It's a fully inclusive environment for deaf and hard of hearing kids.
Nice job, nice speed. Looking good, looking good. We're looking good, guys. The first thing we're gonna work on is our catching and our throwing, okay? So my first rule is going to be, there is absolutely no throwing the ball unless the person you're throwing to is making eye contact with you.
When I was little, I was involved with a baseball camp for the deaf. The camp was smaller, but it was so much fun. I have such fond memories of the time. There were other deaf kids there. I could identify with all of them, other individuals that signed. It was so exciting to be with people like me. It was a part of who I am today. I don't have to experience any of those barriers. It's just nice to be outside, be my true self.
After he graduated high school and went on to college, the camp kind of died out, and when he came back, he revitalized it.
He came to me and he just said, you know, Mom, he goes, I think I would really like to try and do the baseball camp again. And he goes, I am deaf. I know, you know, with deaf culture, that this is really needed. Dylan organized with the interpreters through the Des Moines Public Schools and interpreters in the community. We got the coaches back, we got the volunteers out there. So yeah, we rebooted it in 2015.
The new camp is a lot larger, a lot more volunteers. It's been great having so many interpreters now and so much help.
There we go, there we go. Bend those knees now, bend those knees, get down, there you go.
I have interpreted for a number of these kids or known them just being in the same district as them. I volunteered for one day to come down. And then a friend of mine who's also an interpreter and I went to the Iowa Cubs game with the camp, and she saw me explaining baseball stuff to the deaf kids, and she saw Dylan running around doing all of his baseball stuff with the kids, and sort of thought to herself, and ever since then, I have been interpreting at camp every single day. It really is a family affair. We're all here all week, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Catching a couple fly balls.
We have a range of hard of hearing to deaf kids, so not even all the kids sign, but we have volunteers and interpreters and coaches that know how to work with that whole range.
Done, well done, here we go.
Some of them have never thrown a baseball or never swung a bat before.
Here's a player.
Their eye-hand coordination is amazing. Because they're paying attention, they learn very fast. These kids have phenomenal attention spans.
My favorite part about baseball camp is that I get to meet other people with my same symptoms, and I get to meet a lot of new friends. I'm not the only one that has hearing aids. It does really make me feel more included.
I really like the community here because it kind of just shows you that you're not alone, and that even though you do have this impairment, that it doesn't have to stop you. It doesn't have to be a big thing unless you make it a big thing.
We get to play baseball, and we get to sign up, and we get to meet a lot of new friends. I go to public school. I don't go to, deaf school. So I just hang out with my regular friends. But here it feels like, deaf school, and it's fun.
Growing up, they're often isolated in mainstream schools or even within their own family because they aren't able to communicate. And so they don't have a sense of who they are. When they come to camp and they see, wow, there are a lot of other deaf peers here, and it helps them find out who they are to identify with these other kids. Some of them use their voice, some don't sign too much, but they're meeting other kids that do, and they're just sort of immersed in the deaf community here, and they become, proud of who they are, proud of being deaf, proud of deaf culture.
You can see the kids, they kind of start buddying up after the first and second day, and they're making new friends. They're kind of timid and shy at first maybe, but then it's like, oh wow. Everybody's like us, and it's just heartwarming to see the friendships that are made.
It's been such a rewarding experience seeing the kids grow, seeing their faces when they have success, and their high fives and their smiles, and just the joy that they have in being able to come out and play and run around the field and hit a ball and throw a ball.
Good kid, good kid, good kid, good kid.
It's fairly uncommon outside of school sports that a kid is going to have a sign language interpreter. If it's a school-sponsored sporting event, it'll be in that child's IEP that they will have an interpreter present, so they will have an interpreter for those sports. But playing Little League or community leagues or other organizations that put together sporting events generally don't provide interpreters, and sometimes it's just a financial thing that they don't have the funds to provide interpreting. In rural parts of the state, there's not interpreters available, even if they had the money to get someone.
So 1 arm, 2 arms, and then look on top of it.
There are so many deaf children that are struggling because when they try to use sign, their families want them to speak or use a cochlear implant. But showing them that we're here, we're signing, it's important. It's so much easier to communicate and have access that way. And it's fine if you want to speak and use your voice, if that's one way that you can communicate. But communicating in sign is such an important part of deaf culture. It's our language.
Also representing the Iowa baseball camp for the deaf, please welcome Skylar.
It's a huge deal for the deaf community because the deaf community is going to be celebrated at the game. The Iowa Cubs team are going to be wearing special jerseys honoring this celebration of the deaf community.
They've always gone to an iCubs game during the week of camp, but this is the first year that the iCubs have really expanded that to be Deaf Culture Night.
And people from all over the state of Iowa who attend will have some exposure to the deaf community and to support the Cubs as well. Camp is everything to me and more, and hopefully it is for these young people as well.